A trendy mistake that I see so many working professionals make in today's time, most especially after COVID, is getting another job as a way to improve their financial situation. Now, while this might be a good short-term strategy, this is not good when it comes to long-term strategy, especially when you want to have financial independence. Having another job is not going to get you that financial freedom and independence that you desire. Now, you might be wondering, why isn't that the case? One, having another job on top of your full-time job is not sustainable for long term. You're not going to keep two jobs for the longest time. And if you're looking for financial freedom, where you want to be able to have a life outside of your job, having another job is not going to give you that. Also, the fact that when it comes to you having multiple jobs, you have limited time to actually develop yourself. There is burnout and exhaustion for you. There's so much work that you have to do because now you have to juggle two things or even more at the same time. There's little time for your personal development. If you have a passion, that you want to pursue a hobby, you're never going to have the time to do so because you've picked another job to take up your time. Also, remote work is declining. So how long are you going to have multiple jobs? So if financial independence is your long-term strategy, then having multiple jobs is not viable at all for you. Now, a much more better strategy when it comes to financial independence and freedom is you kicking off a side hustle that is separate from working a 9-to-5 job that can actually grow and become something magnificent, something that can start pouring in that money that you desire so that you can actually not have to rely on working on a 9-to-5. That is where the real financial independence comes in. And that's what today's video is all about. I'm going to be sharing tips on how to get started on a side hustle while you're still working a 9-to-5 job so that you can begin to build that financial independence that you desire. So if this sounds like a great idea, then you need to keep watching this video. Now, the first thing you want to do when it comes to getting started with a side hustle is for you to look through your skill set, your experiences, your passions, and things that you're familiar with. It's always much easier for you to get started when it's already something that you know how to do really well. So figure out your idea. For myself, when I thought about having a side hustle while working a 9-to-5 job, one of the things I thought of was my skill set. I'm an agile coach, and when I looked into the industry, there are lots of people that wanted to become Scrum Masters. And so it was much easier for me to start teaching, aspiring Scrum Masters how to become one so that they can also get a job and get into the IT industry. And also it was much easier for me to get started coaching current Scrum Masters who wanted to develop their skill sets and develop themselves in that role. So I picked a skill set that was closely related to me. It was something that I had a wealth of experience in. And so it was so easy for me to get started into coaching and consulting. So I want you to look into your own skill set, your experiences. What are you skilled at? What experiences do you have that you believe that other people are interested in also having? That is a clue to you figuring out the kind of side hustle you want to start, and make sure that whatever that is, there is a need for it. So you have to research that idea to uncover the need in the market. How many people want this skill set? How many people want this experience? How many people have this problem that I can help them solve? In my own situation, there are lots of people who are looking for Scrum Master positions. There are lots of people who are trying to build their skill set, get that knowledge, get that experience. There are lots of people that are looking for coaching opportunities. So I presented myself as that coach that could help them solve that need. And so it's important that as you begin to think through the side hustle that you want to start while working your 9-to-5 job, you research into that idea and make sure that there is a demand for that idea. There is a market need for it because your side hustle has to be profitable. Remember that we're talking about financial independence. We want to be in a situation where we do not have to rely on our 9-to-5 income, and we can start creating and building other income streams for ourselves. And the most reliable one to get started with is what you already know, what you already have, something you're passionate about, and something that you can do really well that solves a problem for the next person. Now, something else you have to put into consideration as you think through this side hustle idea is the time commitment that you need. Okay, remember that you have a 9-to-5 job. We're not trying to stop work right now. We need our pay, right? So we want to make sure that whatever it is that we're committing into is something that we're going to have the time to be to do so. In my own situation, I dedicated, evenings and weekends to researching, the best course, the best idea, and just be able to, finalize my idea and know how to present it to my target audience. So you have to think through your idea and think through the time commitment that will be needed and figure out based on your schedule, can I provide that time commitment that is needed for this idea? If you cannot, then you probably might need to think through other skill sets and other experiences that you might want to explore. Remember that this is the time when you're going to list out all of the things that you can possibly do, all the things that you're skilled at and all the experiences that you have. So at this current time, one skill set might be more viable than another based on the time availability that you have for this new side hustle. Now, something else you want to consider is your target audience. How are you going to find this target audience? Now we're in the digital age where we can always find our customers online. And for someone like me, all my customers were online and all I had to do was start talking about, Agile and Scrum. I started a YouTube channel. I started to teach, on that subject, and I started to attract my customers to myself. And that was how I started to get coaching opportunities. I started to teach and coach the aspiring Scrum Masters and even the current Scrum Masters who needed guidance. So you have to figure out who is my target audience? Where am I going to find them? What information? How can I get to them so that they are aware that I can solve this problem that they have? Also, it's very important for you to consider your long-term goals, right? Why do you want to start this side hustle? Because that would also help you decide whether a particular side hustle is key for you to actually take, right? Do you have a short-term goal? Like maybe you have bills that you're trying to pay. Let's say you have credit card bills or just urgent bills that you have to take care of. Or are you looking for help to transition from your 9-to-5 into full-time entrepreneurship? What long-term goals do you have? Depending on the type of long-term goals you have, that would help you determine what kind of side hustle you want to kick off, right? Because a side hustle that just helps you get rid of your current debt might be much different from another one that you want to transition into when you leave your 9-to-5 world. So those are things that you also want to consider so that you're setting up yourself for success. Because in a situation where you're just trying to, get rid of maybe some urgent debts that you have, you might need to do something that is really easy. You pay me for this service, I give it to you, I lose my time, I get that money, I pay off my debt, and you're done, right? But if you're looking for, an opportunity where, okay, maybe a year, 2 years from now, I want to transition into this life, I want to be an entrepreneur, then that may be different when it comes to the kind of side hustle you're going to pick. So these are the things that are very critical when you're deciding that perfect idea that you want to kick off for your side hustle. Now, something else that many people don't think about when you want to start side hustle, which I believe is extremely important, is for you to consider the profitability of what you're starting. Not every skill set, not every side hustle is going to give us the same income. So you have to think through, out of all my skill set, out of all the ideas that I have, which one is going to bring me the kind of money that I desire, right? We want to use our time wisely. Remember, we are still working. We're not trying to leave our job today, right? So that means that we want to be able to do something that allows us to still have quality work while we're still able to have the time to be able to dedicate into this new side hustle. And then it has to bring us the right return on investment for it to be worth it. So you have to think through, as you sift through your idea, right? Does this idea make sense? Is it going to bring me the kind of money that I need? I have kicked off, a few ideas that after I did, it didn't bring me the kind of money that I wanted, and I closed it out. And I'm sure that in some videos that I might have shared here and there, I spoke about, my first business, which was a shuttle business that I had as a side hustle. It didn't bring me the kind of money I wanted. It was stressful. It wasn't easy for me to be able to even run it, even though I had a full-time job. And it was just complicated. I had to turn it off. But if it was bringing me the kind of money that I needed, maybe I would have still been able to push even further. But it wasn't even bringing me the kind of return. And so it was just a waste of time. So I don't want you to make the same mistake. Make sure that you look at the profitability of your idea. So don't think that, oh, it's just a side hustle, so it doesn't have to bring me much. No, it has to be worth it for you, right? Remember that it's financial independence you want. You want an extra source of income. Who doesn't love an extra income that pays our mortgage, that pays for our car, that pays for all of these bills, that keeps raking up on a day-to-day basis? So you don't want to invest your energy on something that brings little or no return. So make sure you think through the profitability of this idea before you actually kick off. And all of this are very crucial when you are deciding the type of side hustle you want to start. Because at the end of the day, you're looking at your long-term goals. Financial independence is what you want. Financial freedom is what you want. And financial freedom is not going to another job. Financial freedom is you waking up and you're making money. You're making money in your sleep. You don't have to actively be on that work to make money. Now, there will be things you need to do, obviously, to run that business, but it's not going to need all of you like the way your 9 to 5 needs all of you. And that's why we call them sometimes passive income. But we need that idea to make sense. And that's why it's very crucial that before you select that side hustle idea, you think of all of these factors, because all of these factors are going to set you up for success. So it's very important that you consider all of these tips to ensure that you're achieving success with your side hustle. Now, once you've decided what idea that is and it meets all of this criteria, I want you to also start small, right? Don't go launching big so that you're able to quickly pivot and adjust where needed. So using myself as an example, one of the side hustles that I have was agile coaching. So I decided to start teaching, new Scrum Masters, aspiring Scrum Masters, all things agile. And how did I kick off? I kicked off on social media. I started to share tips on my social media platforms. I started to talk about it on a daily basis. I was solving their day-to-day problems because I was actively an agile coach. So I knew the problems the Scrum Masters had. I knew the problems with getting a Scrum Master job. I knew the problems we're going to face on the job. And so I was sharing this piece of information via social media, and I started to attract my customers. So all that it really cost me to kick off my side hustle was just my time, recording videos, dropping tips here and there. And once I was able to gather enough audience, I started to share my services with my audience. I started to tell them about my coaching services, my one-on-one services, and I built up my courses from there. I built up a community from there, and it just went from there. So you can always build up your side hustle to any level of success as long as you set yourself up for success. And these tips that I'm sharing with you today will definitely set you up for success. So rather than you chasing that next job, I want you to take the time to begin to think through that idea that will actually give you financial independence, that idea that will give you financial freedom, that idea that would actually kick off another source of income for you. Getting another job is not going to solve that problem. Starting a side hustle is actually the solution to your financial situation. So I hope that you take this advice and you begin to think of that idea that will launch you to the financial independence that you truly desire. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to share with your friends. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.